Okay. For a message in my comedy, there it is. Sin it up. You gotta sin or it screws up the big plan. I would hate to live a perfect life here on earth, only to disappoint Jesus when I got to heaven.
Hey, he was handsome. Hey, yo, listen. It's not all just Jimmy Dore hate, okay? All right? We're not just going to hate on him. He was a lady killer back in the day.
Be like, oh, Jim, you're perfect, huh? Fantastic. Guess I died for nothing. Thanks. Oh, look, Jimmy Dore. He doesn't need me. That's right. Maybe you guys just don't love the Lord as much as I do.
Black Dahlia. Earthman Brick.
All right. Let's take a moment. What would you guys like to talk about? Anything interesting? Any smokers here? You guys look very young. Does he smoke? Are you a smoker? Do you smoke cigarettes? What do you smoke, young man? You ever tried drying up banana peels? It's a good buzz. And you get your potassium. So you have a nice coat. All right. Oh, let's talk about cell phones. This is about tonight's this is for Sprint. Did you know that? Like they're taping this for Sprint. Well, first of all, let's talk about cell phones because everybody has their plan. Everyone wants it. No matter what I say, people are like, "What's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan?" I get like 500 minutes for like $75 a month. You're getting screwed. You're stupid. You know, I'm convinced no matter what I say, people would still top it. Be like, "Oh, my plan? I get 1 million minutes for nothing." You think that's good? I'm with Sprint. They paid for my wedding. And these new cell phones are unbelievable. You can do everything with these new cell phones.
God,
you can go on the
shit's so fucking funny. Holy shit. Wait, hold on. Maybe the punchline will happen.
internet with the cell phones. Huh? You can email people, which is cool. It's got a camera right here. It says a camera. You can take pictures, which is cool, right? Because how many times you've been on the phone, you're like, I wish I had a picture of this. And then it'll save the pictures right on your camera, which is great, because then later on you can be like, oh yeah, that's when I was talking to that guy.
I can't fucking believe. I can't believe it was that unfunny. Oh my fucking God. That was painfully unfunny. Okay, well, let's keep watching some of these. Holy shit. That was painfully unfunny. Holy fuck. I've seen some of this person's fucking tweets. This person's not the fucking brightest when it comes to advocating for actual political news, okay? Actual politics, this person, not someone to fucking listen to. Okay, I have seen the Nick person on Twitter as well. Same thing. Here's a thread of the clips. Oh, fucking thank you. Thank you. I do know that they primarily focus on Hassan and on cryptocurrency for some fucking reason. So
you clearly see that at one Obama said, Hassan, you clearly see that at one point Afeni was a supporter of yours. So you and your little cult, the excuse you guys are making to shut down dialogue with another socialist is you don't want to give me clout. That's the deeply unserious logic of these Twitch streamers. They don't want to have conversations with the people they claim they fight for because he's scared I might get a little followers out of it. So, okay, I have a solution for you, Hassan.
By the way, I did not need to say your name to get clout, sir.
Yes, I have a solution for you, Hassan. Invite Afeni on.
I'm
not asking for a debate.
The reason that they get mad when Hassan won't talk to them or when really again, I say this all the fucking time. Everybody on the internet that does stuff on the internet for a fucking living, listen, everybody's a fucking clout chaser. Literally every single fucking person, bar none. Everybody's trying to get the most fucking clicks. Everyone's trying to get the most fucking likes. All right. That's just what they fucking do. All right. So calling someone a clout chaser as an insult, if they're an online content creator or anything like that, is really fucking useless and stupid. The reason they get mad when he won't talk to them, right, is because they think that he owes them his time because he's also a leftist. But even Hassan is smarter than the fucking general strike people. The fucking Jimmy Dore type fucking lefties, you know? Fucking dumb fucks, brainlets, idiots.
I do not like debate me bro bullshit. Invite Afeni on and explain to her why having this conversation for 3 days is a bad idea. Explain to Afeni why her being in the streets every fucking day is her not doing enough for the movement. When you were saying that the people that organized the General Strike Summit, which Afeni is one of them, are just grifters and YouTubers. So I want you to invite Afeni on your show and tell her how she has not done enough.
Everyone's a clout chaser, Blue Star. Everybody. Literally. Everybody online. Everyone who wants to get the most fucking retweets and shit. All fucking clout chasers. So I don't take it as a fucking insult.
For the movement. The guy who played Nintendo all day in his mansion, I want you to invite Afeni on and explain to your audience how you do more than her. I would love to hear it. Once again, I don't need the clout. I don't need it. So, since you guys are so deeply unserious,
You do need the clout. If you're a political organizer, you do want clout. Guess why? Because you want more people to hear your fucking message. I can't wait.
that's your main concern. Oh, God forbid people hear from a black left socialist. God forbid that happens.
It has nothing to do with your race. It's all about the way that y'all go about it. It has nothing to do with black left socialists. That's not why people don't want you to be heard. It's because y'all go about it in the stupidest fucking way.
Times, and you don't want to give me attention, invite Afeni on, who clearly said she liked you at one point. She was a supporter. And if you are not willing to talk to her, that shows you are deeply unserious and you are an intellectual coward.
We could probably say that about Hassan. Okay, we could probably say that Hassan is an intellectual coward. Did you know that strikes need strike funds? How do you build strike funds without unionized workplaces? Genius. Type general strike into Google. One. This is the most stupid tweet I've seen all day, and that's saying something. A general strike disrupts the economy at the most fundamental level. There's no strike fund. What? The amount of pressure this creates forces all powers of society on their knees with zero leverage. Strike funds are there so that people still get paid while they're on strike. It is privileged leftists whose family own media and academia, like Hassan, shit on leftists that organize outside of academia. It's not that outside of academia. It's knowing how to organize a strike. It's called, being smart about it. Where are you going to spend your strike fund? You spend it so that people don't just go without fucking pay. That's what a strike fund is. From my understanding. That's why unions exist, because they have ways to pay people while they're on strike or while they're, unions as an organization, they have union dues so they can pay for lawyers and they can pay people like some percentage of their wage so that they still have money to put food on the table for their family during the strike.
General sense, right? In a general sense, right?
That's absolutely
And
right.
what do you call a group of workers from different industries that is working together for a general with general demands for the general betterment of workers? Wonder what you call that.
Right. Well, I tell you what, there is a driving.
In a general sense, right?
That's absolutely
And
right.
Fuck, I wish he gave timestamps for all the things. Fuck my life. One second, hold on to that link, John Locks. I want to get through this stuff real quick.
You know, it's just
And
like,
Jimmy
hey,
Dore.
you want to be
Jimmy Dore is the fucking worst of them because he is a grifter. He fucking 180'd his stance on vaccines when he found out that he could make more money off of that.
you know, it's just like, hey, do you want to be oppressed by the Republican Party or you want to be oppressed by the Democratic Party? And that's really the difference. They're both your oppressors, and I think that's why they amp up so much. They want to talk about January.
Well, hold on. Of course, even if you're going to say that, which I would agree with the Republicans. I think that the Republican Party is fundamentally fucking flawed from the ground up. But the Democratic Party does seem to have people's best interests in mind, even if they're not like super great at actually getting that to happen. But even if you're going to believe that, right, you would still want to choose the lesser of the two evils. I know people hate having to choose the lesser of two evils, but that's a you would always want to choose the lesser of two evils. You would always want there to be less evil, right?
They want to talk about January 6th over and over, and it's because they want us to divide. They want us to hate our neighbor. That's why they're using COVID and mandates to get us to look at each other as Noam Chomsky said. These people.
I mean, listen, Blue Star. If you look at the kinds of policies that they've tried to put forward, right? You look at the kinds of policies that they try to put forward. They help people. If you look at the child tax credit, which slashed childhood poverty in half, that's the kind of thing that you're going to get from Democrats and not from fucking Republicans.
Noam Chomsky said these people are unvaccinated, want to kill us. And now we know just how crazy that is because study after study keeps showing that the vaccines don't stop you from transmitting the virus and they don't stop you from getting it.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So this idea that and by the way, we're also all going to get it. So if we're all going to get it, who do you give a shit who you get it from? It's never going away.
You want to have the least amount of negative. You want to have the least amount of negative symptoms. You want to have mild symptoms. And if you get the vaccine, it reduces the severity of symptoms. And it reduces your chances of getting the virus. Even if we do say everyone's going to get the virus, it's going to happen slower so it doesn't overwhelm our healthcare system.
Way ever, just like the other coronaviruses that are flu.
Yeah, just really quick. Jasul, nothing is 100%, right? It's not going to fully stop transmission, but it reduces it, which is what all we are trying to do is reduce. We're reducing the harm. That's the way that all vaccines work.
We're also all going to get it. So if we're all going to get it, who do you give a shit who you get it from? It's never going away ever. Just like the other coronaviruses that are flus that are seasonal, this also is never going away.
No, Blue Star.
And adult people catch the flu twice every decade. And
so I'm sorry. I'm going to get super fucking triggered. I'm timing you out for fucking 1 minute, all right? Because I want to get through this. No vaccine is 100%. The only reason that we were able to get rid of other viruses is because everyone got the fucking vaccine.
going away, and the adult people catch the flu twice every decade. And so if you live another 10 years, you're going to get coronavirus. So you should prepare for it. And we're not
With a
telling people
vaccine.
that. But they have these mandates that make no scientific sense.
They
And
do.
then they also split workers. And they make us, I'm not going to, let me tell you something, 200,000 people more.
All of the fucking workers that are on strike right now are not striking because of COVID mandates, which is something that this stupid fuck tries to put out there. It's not like everybody in the entire United States just like universally reviles the fucking vaccine. Most of the people that are striking right now and have been striking this year are striking because of wages and because of working conditions, not because of fucking vaccine mandates. The only ones that are striking because of vaccine mandates are police and firefighter unions. Outside of like maybe a couple of other like small cases or like one or two others, I don't know like exactly, because there's a lot of people that are striking right now, but it's not like we're seeing this overwhelming repudiation of the vaccine mandates.
Or would be alive right now if we had Medicare for all. And that's who we need to keep our eye on. The oligarchs who are denying us health care.
Medicare for all isn't happening, but we should be pushing them for at least even if you want to like push for Medicare for all so that they give us a public option. That's something that is much more tangible, much more in reach, because most people in the United States don't want that, or at least the way our system is set up, you have to convince people that aren't voting for that are the reason we're not getting it. You have to convince them that it's a good thing.
But they want, and if you find yourself blaming a school bus driver or a nurse's aide or a teacher for this coronavirus pandemic and your economic destruction because of the lockdowns,
wouldn't those people be professional managerial class? Maybe not the bus driver.
then you've been propagandized. And you need to get your head out of your ass, because those are not your enemy. Your enemy are the people who are keeping you from a living wage, people who are locking you down and not paying your salary like the rest of the Western world did. They want us to take our eye off the ball, which is the oligarchs. So I'm not going to take my eye off the oligarchs who are denying us everything right now. And it doesn't matter which party's in power. Keep your eye on the oligarchs because they control both parties. It's one party with two right wings.
God damn, I hate that fucking talking.
They just say,
oh yeah, also anytime you see someone from the gray zone, immediately discount anything that they fucking say, okay? Jimmy Dore's always been kind of cancer. How's it going, KF Logan? You should have a VIP badge. 1 second, let me hook you up with that. What's gray zone? It's basically a bunch of people that simp for Russia. Their one and only politics is they hate America. And so they take the fucking opposite narrative no matter what.
Anti-vaxxer, and they use pejoratives, and they have no response. And what I've noticed with a large section of the left and the Twitter and YouTube influencers is their critique only focuses on people like Jimmy Dore or the so-called anti-vaxxers or regular people, and they have no critique of power.
They live in this fantasy world where regular people are people that believe exactly the same thing as them, and that's everybody. They just think that everybody agrees with them but doesn't know it yet, or that everybody, no, it's not even that they don't know it yet. It's just that everybody agrees with them, and the media doesn't want you to know that people agree with them.
Anti-vaxxers or regular people, and they have no critique of power. They have no critique of big pharma. They have no critique of the vaccine itself and why it has failed.
There's plenty of things that you can critique about big pharma. Lots of people critique big pharma.
And why it has failed on so many levels, and why the pandemic continues, why the cases are
Don't be anti-vax then.
Exploding in hyper-vax countries like Israel or Ireland.
It's not exploding in hyper-vaxxed countries, actually. Fucking crazy that. It's almost like when you have the majority of the people in your country vaccinated, people stop dying from the fucking plague that's been hounding us for a year.
Singapore.
They won't allow a critique because any critique is being an anti-vaxxer. So in so many ways, they're either useful idiots or deliberate force multipliers for power, for big pharma, for the Democratic Party, for our feudal masters like Bill Gates. And that's why they exist, because they don't really have very much charisma or very many interesting things to say. And no one cares if they
This guy's talking about charisma. You hear how he finished that fucking sentence?
interesting things to say. And no one cares if they make a slight error because they don't threaten any centers of power, so no one's scrutinizing them.
Speaking of a lack of charisma, really quick, John Lux.
Really big might be happening on Black Friday, and you should know about it. There's going to be a huge Black Friday strike nationwide in America. It all started with the Reddit page Anti-Work and Black Friday Blackout, where they started talking about walking out on Black Friday and just not working. The website is encouraging people to call in sick for Black Friday, even if they're forced to work, and to remain at home until Friday, November 26th. They're also encouraging people to pass out the flyers. It says they can't fire us all, no work, no productivity, and no shopping. This isn't just for the employees. If you're not working on Black Friday, you can participate in this strike by just not buying anything on that day. This is a protest against the conditions that
People have to be unionized to strike. People have to be unionized to strike. There's no protections for you if you just strike. They can't fire us all. The fuck they can't. There has to be like a massive will within your workplace to strike.
that the working class has to work in right now in America, the fact that managers and executives get to spend the time with their families and the working class have to work. Are you going to be joining this strike? Comment down below.
I don't know if I agree with like the managers get to stay at home, because the managers have to go into be managers. Like when I worked in Black Friday, the managers were there at the, I don't know. Fuck me. You know
really
what?
Big might be happening.
Where's Kia-san? I'm messaging Kia-san. I want to know if he's free, because Kia-san actually does labor organization. Does anybody is there anybody else on Twitch that we know that we can hit up to talk about labor organizing, that actually works in labor organizing? Not a bunch of fucking LARPers that just say, "Oh well, well if everybody strikes, if everybody just voted third party, then there would be a third party." I think this one is tough because the types of jobs that in America don't lend themselves to union style organizing like they used to, so people want a general strike. So like there's a couple of things. You're actually not entirely wrong there for once, Blue Star. There's we've moved away from this largely manual labor type economy, right? Kia-san? I don't know. I'll ask him if he responds. You're not entirely wrong there, right? But the problem is that all of these jobs do have the opportunity to organize for labor, right? But people are worried about getting fucking fired, and there's a lot of different things that you can talk about in these sorts of events, right? I would be way more okay with this if they gave solutions for how to organize a union rather than just saying, this is why we need a general strike. Everyone just strike. It's really hard. It's really fucking hard. And you have to think about how people's psychology works. Like, sure, if everyone just went on strike, that would be one thing, but you have to have like broad appeal for that. And there has to be organization behind it. You don't just tell people don't go to work because it's going to get them fucking fired. There has to be protections in place. Yeah, Jakey, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Whatever your name is, most people can afford to just walk out if they don't have protections. That's why we have strike funds, so that people can still get some percentage of their wage, right? To talk about it, but they're not giving solutions. They're just saying this is why we should have one, but they're not telling people how to organize for them. And the people that they do have on there, they're saying, so yeah, we should have a general strike, right? And even the person that seemed like he was a union organizer didn't want to say general strike because that's a fucking hardcore fucking like extra step. It is such a fucking like wildly over the top goal for us to try and reach for right now, when most of the United States isn't unionized.
Oh, and I was talking about the mandates, and I usually focus on.
Oh, is this guy Socialist MMA? Oh, I didn't fucking know that. Socialist MMA is a dumb fuck. His debate with Vosh on Bernie or Bust was unwatchable.
Dates, and I usually focus on. I just didn't have time to really discuss it, so that was really the first time that I gave my public view on it. And then, like, whenever I saw it, I was like curious. Like, I want to see what the counter argument. It was just literally just like they were just attacking me because what I said on the show, I said if you support the mandates, let's take this further and let's see how class loyal you really are, and let's see how class conscious you are. So let's say there is a single mother with 2 kids who don't want to get the vaccine mandate.
Leftist audio, holy shit. I actually couldn't even hear what he said because of the fucking background noise. Not that it was too loud, it just distracts me.
So let's say there is a single mother with 2 kids who don't want to get the vaccine mandate, and according to a lot of liberals, they believe if you don't want to if you don't get the vaccine, you shouldn't be able to buy groceries. They think you should be denied access to food.
No one says that.
I'm asking people to be.
Oh my god, fucking argue against the straw man more. Holy fucking shit. He took it down because socialists. Wait, is this not it?
Held his appraisal and tried to threaten or black far anything even
250 or 350.
Yes, I think
Oh yeah,
100.
that's not him.
To the right even when we vote for them.
Are you wait.
So your plan is to vote.
You're gonna have someone who's
Referring to as Donald Trump, then no, you shouldn't.
Voss should grow out his hair on the sides like this and not keep it like shaved down to a 1. All right, he looks spiffy like this. All right.
Well, you mean in terms of should vote for?
I'm sorry.
You mean like in terms of who I should vote for?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I think you should vote for Biden. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's a good opinion of yours, but there's no reason for me to vote for Joe Biden. There's no reason to me to give up my leverage because the idea that you're gonna have someone who's gonna be a one-term president, you're gonna influence his administration, even though he already shown the fact that he have no willingness to move left at all, even on basic concepts like legalized weed. Now, this is my problem with your general premise. Your general premise is that we always give up policy issues that are dear to us in order to make you comfortable and in order to make your movement comfortable.
Wait, really quick. I missed what Blue Star said here. Well, the discussion there would be that with the swap to service industry jobs, the future of labor movement isn't in unions at all. How do you organize labor without a union or without any kind of structure? Just saying everyone should have class solidarity? Because that's not something that's just, you just snap your fingers and get. Let me look at the fucking thumbnail. Let me see. Yeah, that's a good fucking thumbnail right there, my friend. All right, I'm not, you know what, I'll fucking say it. That's a good fucking thumbnail.
The concept like legalized weed. Now, this is my problem with your general premise. Your general premise is that we always give up policy issues that are dear to us in order to make you comfortable and in order to make your movement comfortable, even though there's no
What's my
coherent.
movement?
I don't know. Like that's why we're here having the
Wait,
conversation.
are you a fascist? Wait, I thought we were both socialists. Why is it my movement?
If you vote for a fascist, you're complicit, in my opinion. If you want to call me a fascist, that's fine. I don't care about your opinion.
No, I'm just you said my movement. You're like kind of implying I'm not a socialist, which is weird. Yeah. So I mean,
You're not operating. Socialism is a wide tent. If you're voting and you're complicit with fascism, you go ahead and do you. I don't vote shame. I don't vote shame people because they want to have their reason for voting for the way they vote.
Do you racism shame?
This is something I love. I don't vote shame because of this, right? The only reason that they say that, she scared the fuck out of me. The only reason that they say, oh, you know, I'm not going to vote shame you is because they realize what they're doing is inherently wrong. What they're doing is worthy of shame, right? And they don't want someone to shame them for it.
People? Wait, do you racism shame people?
What do you mean by that?
Like, for instance, if you had like a friend of a friend and they walked up to you and they called you the N-word and spat your face, and you were like, whoa, that's pretty fucked up. And your friend was like, whoa, dude, don't racism shame people. There are probably legit reasons why they're doing that. Do you think that would be like a good counter argument, or do you think maybe we should make prescriptive statements about how people should behave?
It was probably super boring, huh, internet gas?
I fail to see how those two things connect when, the only way we can put pressure on politicians to move is if we can't vote for the people you want to influence. Because if we already give your vote away, you're not gonna change the needle.
You don't have any leverage as a non-voter. The DNC doesn't give a shit about you.
You don't have any leverage as a non-voter. You don't have any leverage as a non-unionized worker. They want all of the good things without having to go through any kind of real organization. And that's the fundamental problem with people like this guy, with all of the fucking people in the in these panels, is they want all of the good things, right? Like strikes and Medicare for all, but they don't want to have like the organization, because like that might imply that they have to work within the system in some way, right? If you have to have a union, then you don't want to fucking like they want it both ways. How are you going to organize a gig worker union? They've already tried to do this. There have been people that have tried to organize and they got union busted. But that's like the problem. We have to help people organize unions. How are you going to organize a gig worker union? Easily. If you are able to get that that baseline level of organization down. And there has to be workers who are willing to vote for the unionization.
If you don't get the vaccine, you shouldn't be able to buy groceries. They think you
Yeah, and also I've never ever seen anybody say that.
should be denied access to food. So once again, I'm asking people to be serious. So the argument
That's happening in other countries. That is happening in other countries.
Yeah. So my question is, and I want to get Max and Jimmy opinion on this.
Can anybody give me a single link to someone with any sway, any real power to put forward a vaccine mandate that would exclude people from going and getting food?
I'm saying if you're on the left and you support this means you support starving a poor family because they don't want to get a vaccine. How can you say you class?
I've never even seen any shit libs like the fucking Harry Potter liberals say that.
Conscious with that. Once again, that has nothing to do with my statement or my opinion on the vaccine. This is a left class analysis. Like, do you want everyone who don't get the vaccine? So let's take it another step further. Let's say these mandates get implemented, right? Let's say you have your way and someone refused to get the vaccine. What do you think their punishment should be? If you push them and keep pushing them, the response will always be their death. So you're not allowed in grocery stores. So you can't feed your kids? Is that what you want for people who don't take the vaccine? But sorry, Jimmy, Max, you guys want to chime in?
Yeah, nobody's saying that. Oh shit. 1 second. Progressive Brat responded to me on Twitter.
Well, they want to take away their right to support, to have a living, to earn a living. I mean, could there be anything more destructive than that? They want to take away their ability to earn a living. So, that's an assault on workers, and that, uh, that they're also operating under the notion. I think most of the people who are pro mandate are intentionally being ignorant about the science. They don't want to know about it, and the science is that
Everything that Jimmy Dore says about the science is super, super laid bare in this video. He doesn't actually believe anything that he says when it comes to vaccines. He's just doing it because it doubles his audience in terms of anti-establishment conservatives.
the vaccine does not stop transmission, and it doesn't stop you from getting infected. So so if you get a vaccine, if you get vaccinated, it's to protect yourself. That
It looks like a quote from Don Lemon. I'm sure a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the supermarket. Okay, so even this one person who says it says that a lot of people aren't going to agree with him. Cool. Interesting.
Kind of close with a Fred Hampton story, since this is Fred Hampton leftist, and I learned about it from a book called Government by Gunplay, which was edited many years ago by a journalist named Sidney Blumenthal, and it covers the intelligence plot to assassinate Fred Hampton. But there's a story about Fred Hampton that really spoke to me there, where he was confronted in Chicago with a chaotic rally planned by the Weather Underground around the Loop.
God, why the fuck was this guy saying that other people have no fucking charisma? Holy fucking shit.
Downtown Chicago, where they were basically getting a bunch of young people into town dressed up in like football helmets with baseball bats to go smash up stores and attack the cops. And Fred Hampton stood before the crowd and said, "We don't need anarchism. This is going to be a disaster. What we need is political education." And it really reminds me that we're in a protracted struggle, and that sometimes our own rage can be used against us by more powerful forces, as we saw kind of with the flame out of some of the protests in 2020. And I think what Fred Hampton was committed to was the protracted struggle to political education, with providing people with actually a basis for transforming society and not just reacting. So I just wanted to close with that.
No fucking charisma. Charisma-less. Oh God, here we go. Jackson Hinkle, let's fucking go. Jackson Hinkle claims that Hassan and Vosh are hurting worker movements by acknowledging the existence of Uyghur genocide or Syrian chemical weapons attacks. Insinuates that they are working in tandem with the mainstream media. How in the fuck do these two things have to do, or how could they hurt labor organization?
In space, so we know who the actors are that are constantly attacking us, right? But if you think about it, the reasons why people like Hassan Piker, like Vosh, are so scared about the prospects of a general strike or general strike summit even, are the same reasons why they're scared about people finding out the truth.
I'm sorry, Blue Star, I would love for you to draw the direct line for the average fucking person, right, who might be able to get unionized, how they're directly harmed by the US war machine. Please draw the direct line from me.
So scared about the prospects.
The US war machine employs a lot of workers in the United States.
Of a general strike or general strike summit even, are the same reasons why they're scared about people finding out the truth about what's happening in China, what's happening in Syria, for example, right? They don't want you to know the fact that in China right now, there is not a mass genocide happening with Uyghur people, right? In fact, those lies actually hurt Uyghur people who are
even if we're going to say that there is no genocide, right? I would argue that there is a cultural genocide. But if we're going to say that, are we still going to say that it's like acceptable for the Chinese government to put millions of people into fucking quote unquote re-education camps by their own admission? One of my favorite moments on stream was when I was talking to Haas on about the Uyghur genocide, right? We got super chill. I was playing Valheim, right? And I just asked him, like, so do you think it's okay? Like the Chinese government even like admits to throwing a bunch of people into these fucking re-education camps. And he didn't have, he just kind of like Joker laughed. Because he didn't have an answer. And that's when he brought in the girl that did the fucking yellow face stuff. Uh-oh. Internet die? Or refresh? Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Jackson Hinkle.
Are so scared about the prospects of a general strike or general strike summit even are the same reasons why they're scared about people finding out the truth about what's happening in China, what's happening in Syria, for example, right? They don't.
I'm so sorry, Blue Star. I don't think that throwing people against their will into re-education camps is a good thing. School is good, actually. I agree, right? But I don't think that the kind of education that they're giving them, where it's like about like cultural aspects of fucking China, is necessary. And I also don't think that the reasons that they throw them into these camps has anything to do with purely education.
I don't want you to know the fact that in China right now, there is not a mass genocide happening with Uyghur people, right? In fact, those lies actually hurt Uyghur people who are trying to find some sort of like economic prosperity by working the jobs that they do. They don't want you to know the truth in Syria either. They want you to buy the imperialist myths surrounding Syria.
Wait, what? Well done, HFL. I don't know who HFL is. This is the kind of show we need to have more. This is the kind of show we need to have more, which consolidate working class and make more awareness within the working class and simultaneously help grassroots comrades to work on the ground. If you gave tips on how to unionize, that would be way better.
That Bashar al-Assad is like trying to destroy his own country or something like that, when in fact what they're doing is trying to regain control of their country from the extremists that the US has funded, and have taken over different parts of the country, and they're committing horrific acts against civilian populations. And what they're trying to do is rebuild their country. And that's why Dana Stroul, who's now working within the Biden administration as like a special envoy or something like that on Syria in particular, she has stated explicitly that the United States has taken over 1/3 of Syria with the help of the Kurds to secure the hydrocarbon-rich region of the country, to cut off the Syrian people from vital resources that are, very important to the country's economy, like oil, natural gas, wheat, etc. And they don't want you to know this stuff because this is the truth. And that truth only brings further solidarity for working class people all across the world, right?
There was the clip of them talking about organizing with a labor organizer, and they just kept on trying to say they kept on trying to get him to say, yeah, no, a general strike is the best thing, when he was trying to tell them that like organizing in a union is the best way to do this. All these privileged fucking leftists on the internet want to tell actual union organizers and labor organizers how to fucking do it, when they are not willing to listen to it, to listen to the labor organizers themselves.
And it's not that they're like,
oh, stop,
in the online space, so we know who the actors are necessarily benefiting from the same corporations that are funding these myths and these lies, but they just buy what the mainstream media tells them. And
I hate the refrain of mainstream media. Fuck me. Kia-san responded. He said he'll be free later. Let's see. Shahid Buttar, I hope I'm saying that right, actually makes a good point about how Ilhan Omar isn't as bad as Nancy Pelosi. Josanna screams at him from behind muted microphone.
There might be some people that people describe as progressive politicians who want to be the next Pelosi. Ilhan Omar does not. There's a difference between someone who takes heat and someone who rides a wave. And you can see voices taking heat. Alex Morse took heat. I took heat. Ilhan took heat. People take heat when they challenge power. And that's one way you can tell who might be fighting on your behalf and who's not. Rashida takes mad heat. You know, they came after her in Detroit. And there's this distinction also, I would say, between paths. And this is one reason why I find Cori Bush so inspiring. She's a nurse who was driven to politics as an expression of her commitment to public health, basically. And that's a very different political genesis than someone who came to Congress having been a member of a city council, right? For people for whom politics is merely a career or like some game to be observed, as distinct from a collective exercise in liberation and trying to express some solidarity with each other and the future that we all share, there's a vast distinction between those kinds of approaches. And I think it frankly reveals itself in everything from the rhetoric people use to the policies they promote to the actions that they show up at or don't. I think you can see the proof in the pudding. And I think to lump all politicians in that category is somewhat both over and under inclusive. It's ultimately there are career and dynasty politicians, and there is a legion of people who are challenging them. I am far from alone. In almost every congressional district, there is someone fighting that establishment. And to deride electoral politics as an arena, it unfortunately, I think, reinforces the establishment's control by sapping energy from the needed points of resistance we need within that arena. And
fucking so true. So fucking true. Unreal how fucking true this is. One sec.
And again, that arena alone is insufficient, but it is absolutely necessary. The alternative is to abdicate policy, and we've seen what that does. It engineers calamity at scale. And I absolutely want to reinforce Glory's point about the importance of learning to grow your own food, finding ways to unplug from the corporate machine.
Oh, hold on.
About the alternative is to abdicate policy, and we've seen what that does. It engineers calamity at scale. And I absolutely want to reinforce Glory's point about the importance of learning to grow your own food, finding ways to unplug from the corporate machine to die.
Oh,
there might be some people
no. I don't think that we need to learn how to grow our own food if we live in a city or some shit. Like, I think that's really fucking stupid. We've found throughout human history that people specializing into certain things, like, you know, farmers farming and like atomizing society in such a way that some people or like all people are masters of all trades so that they can unplug from the machine is really fucking stupid. That's a ultimately stupid way to fucking end that diatribe.
Fuck up Hassan Piker and Kyle Kalinske a little bit.
Let's
so
go.
Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to make my case here. I'm going to just digress for a second to talk to you guys about what the game is that we're playing here and what we're up against. You have to understand that the oligarchs and capitalism in general is a multi-tentacled organism that it's going to use its propaganda arm and it's going to use its censorship arm against us at every turn. So we have to understand that that is what we're up against, and we have to fight those two battles.
I feel like the more I hear people like this like spout out buzzwords like oligarch or establishment without like explicitly saying what they're talking about, what aspect of the system that you're talking about, it is an ultimate fucking trigger for me. It really fucking bothers me. Because if you don't have, if you can identify a problem, okay, there's something wrong with the system. What's wrong with the system? The system is what's wrong with the system. Okay, then like, what is the alternative? Tearing down the system. Stop talking about politics. Fucking never talk about politics again. Actually talk about who you have an issue with, who you got beef with, besides Hassan and fucking Kyle Kalinske.
Now, how do we do that, right? They're essentially, their game plan is turning their misinformation and repackaging it as facts. That's the propaganda arm. And then they're going to turn all of our truth tellers and our facts into misinformation. Succinctly, that's exactly what they're going to do. So we fight both of those battles. How? We have to protect our journalists. That means that we have to protect people like Julian Assange, make sure that he doesn't have anything more done to him, make sure that he doesn't get extradited. But beyond that, it means going after people.
I looked into Julian Assange one night after seeing there's a couple of accounts on Twitter that just spend their entire political advocacy talking about fucking Julian Assange. I looked him up. And I was only reinforcing my belief that, like, fuck Assange, right? Even if you believe in, like, the whole, all the WikiLeaks as a concept, which, like, I'm not necessarily opposed to, right? The whole journalism aspect. Like, Assange is a scumfuck piece of shit, okay? That motherfucker is not a good fucking dude. There's just, like, no fucking reason to simp so hard for him. There's no reason to. Bro, picture this. The jury comes back with a not guilty verdict. Kyle, hearing this, rips his shirt off, looks the prosecution dead in the eye and screams, "Let's go, Brandon." Uh-huh. Okay. The judge then rips off his own shirt and joins him in the chant. They march out front where George Zimmerman is waiting for Kyle with his rifle. It wouldn't be sick. That's glorifying violence. Chill the fuck out.
That smear our good journalists, which is why I go.
Also, we were at Renfest this past weekend. We were at Renfest this past week. Oh shit, I didn't mean to click on that. And there were just people constantly chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." It's not that much. It's not that funny. Like, it was funny the first day. Not gonna lie, it was funny the first day that the reporter misheard or misinterpreted whatever the fuck they said, right? But also, it's just not that fucking funny. And people are making it their entire fucking personality. There were people with flags at the Ren Fair campgrounds that said, "Let's go, Brandon," but it was like a Trump flag, but said, "Let's go, Brandon." It's like, it's not that fucking funny. I get it, you're a Biden bro, because it's just like not that funny. Like, I'll even say, listen, Temple, Temple, I don't know what your fucking name is. It was funny the first couple of days, all right? But people are going so hard into it, like it's some sort of like epic own. It's just boring and lame.
Go out there and body TYT regularly because they committed slander against Aaron Mate on the Syria OPCW cover-up.
What is the hold on. I'm so curious. What is the call to action? What is the direct call to action? That let's go, Brandon. You'll know when it happens. Oh, Mystic Temple of Marduk. Coming in with the hot and fast fucking esoteric. You'll know when it happens.
I don't just go out there and call Jenk a bestiality fiend because he is. I call him a bestiality fiend because he's an idiot who went after a journalist that I can't allow anyone to smear. The other battle that we have to make sure we do is
What?
we have to eat the propagandists. And if you guys watch my show, that's like my whole entire formula is I'm going to prop up and boost the people that are doing great work. But if you're a propagandist, look out. I'm going to
Can you
teach
link
all
one?
of my
I've never
viewers
heard of
how to
that.
spot your bullshit, and I'm going to eat you alive. And you guys know I made my entire YouTube
I wanna argue with Robert Durden.
career or whatever. I'm not a careerist, but my entire repertoire is like bodying Kyle Kalinske on bad things. And the reason for that is that he used to be decent.
They so hardcore fucking posture strength. It's so fucking cringe. I'm gonna beat the shit out of these people. I'm gonna eat them alive. It's like, huh. Take a chill pill, buddy. Oh my god. Ultimately, the problem that I have with these people is that even if they want the general strike, they don't seem to be like super interested in getting people organized into unions. They just want there to be a general strike, but they're not in favor of like the smaller scale things, which is what we kind of need, right? We kind of need there to be smaller scale organization, right? Because it's a 3-day event. I don't know if this is misrepresenting. It's certainly the outtakes, not even the outtakes because they meant everything that they said. But like, again, it's a 3-day event. I'm not going to sit here and watch 3 days worth of fucking VODs. All right. And this is the only thing that people gave. Hey, Blue Star, if you can get me links of them actually talking about something of value, then please do.
Leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. My children aren't going hungry. I'll do it. I'll drink your blood. And I'm starting to